Hey, it's Meg from High Scores Arcade, and today I want to talk to you about Pac-Man Plus, released by Midway in 1982. Now, this is the third in the series of Pac-Man games released here in North America. It's not really a game that can stand on its own. It's essentially a hack of the original Pac-Man that was marketed to operators with a conversion kit of artwork and some claims of new exciting gameplay meant to kind of freshen up the cabinets on their floor and keep interest in the Pac-Man name. Releasing it at all is kind of a dick move on Midway's part, and here's why. In 1980, they partnered with Namco to gain the North American distribution rights to the Pac-Man name. Pac-Man's released to great success, and Namco turns around and starts working on what they feel will be the successive title in Super Pac-Man. In the meantime, as they wait, Midway is approached by a group of enterprising folks from MIT that call themselves General Computer Corporation. They're seeking permission to release their hack of Pac-Man that they're calling Crazy Otto. Now, Midway wants to ride high on the Pac-Man name while it's popular, and they're tired of waiting for Namco's follow-up. So they say, no, you may not release it, but we'll buy it from you and take it, change a couple of elements, and release it as Miss Pac-Man to obvious thundering success. So all the while, Namco's still working on the follow-up. Miss Pac-Man comes out, and a month later, Pac-Man Plus, that we're talking about today, comes out. Then Baby Pac-Man, a Pac-Man themed pinball video game hybrid. So Midway got a little crazy with the Pac-Man name. Now, this game in particular introduces some random gameplay elements that are not visible in Pac-Man, and it essentially makes patterned and memorized play a thing of the past. And it's for that reason that I find if you're a seasoned Pac-Man player, playing Pac-Man Plus at first might be a little bit more difficult for you because you have to unlearn a lot of the habits that made you successful in the original Pac-Man game. Now, excellent in this game is 3.466 million, somewhere around there. I'm just going to show you how to get upwards of, say, 20,000 just to get familiar with the gameplay elements and show you what's different between this and the original Pac-Man. So let's go take a look. Jumping into a game of Pac-Man Plus here, you'll see the maze looks the same as you're used to in Pac-Man, so you are going to jump right in with your charge of clearing the pellets from the board. That special prize will show up in the middle. In this case, it's a can of Coke, and you'll see it turns your ghosts invisible and vulnerable. So they are going to be invisible for most of the time there and show back up in the last couple of seconds of their vulnerability. So you do want to keep track of their location on the board there. Right there, you see the second big difference is that my Energizer only turned 3 out of my 4 ghosts vulnerable. So sometimes it will do all 4, sometimes it will do only 3, and that makes you have to keep on your toes a little bit more. You can't bait them as closely, because if there's one in front of your Energizer pellet, like right there, didn't turn the red one, then if I continued on, I would have been toast, right? So you have to be prepared for the possibility that not all of your ghosts will always change with your Energizer. Clear these guys out before I head out, and here we go. So I'm ending this first board at 15.6. That's another difference, is that the latitude for a higher score per level is there because of these new elements that they've introduced. Pac-Man and Miss Pac-Man, the higher level on a first board is 14.8 or 14.6. So this does give you a little bit more room to get a higher score because of the elements that they've introduced here. In case you're not familiar with Pac-Man and you are an alien, the objective is to clear the board of all of the pellets and get as many ghosts as you can to drive your points up. There's one of those special items for 300. And again, those ghosts are still there, they're just invisible. So they're going to move around the maze in their same patterns that they always do. But you just won't see them. And you see, sometimes when I hit the Energizer, it acts normally and it switches them all over. But unfortunately, just the very act of not being able to take it for granted changes your gameplay. All right, so I'm ending the second board at 26,000. Moving on, I've got this cute little cut screen. You see the prizes that I've gotten already on the bottom right-hand side is kind of a ticker. Here I come, here I come, here I come. All right, so here's where you see one of the big differences. It's the P is the special prize in the middle, and all the same ways of reacting apply. See, I grabbed it, and my ghost went invisible. I was able to get a couple of them there while they're vulnerable. But the big difference comes when I eat the Energizer. What? Eating the Energizer on this level will sometimes make the maze go invisible. And this is where a good, solid understanding of the maze from playing Pac-Man before this will come in handy for you, because you'll still be able to maneuver somewhat and know what turns you're supposed to take if you're familiar with those maze levels. But again, it doesn't happen every time. See, it didn't happen that time, but it's just enough to change the way you play. Ending there at 31-3. That's it for me today. If you're new to High Scores Arcade, we are arcade collectors and preservationists. We have over 165 titles in our collection here in Northern California, and you can play some at High Scores Arcade, 1414 Park Street in Alameda, just across the bridge from San Francisco. If you'd like our mission of saving and protecting and sharing back classic arcade games, we invite you to please like and share our content with your like-minded friends. If you're in a position to help our preservation efforts, please visit www.highscoresarcade.com, where you can learn more about us and see a link to donate. Thanks so much, and I will see you next time.